Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal. Time for the match reaction. Arsenal 2, Nottingham Forest 1. Obviously, expected it to be quite more easier than that. In the first half, it looked like it was going to be way easier than that. But obviously, in the last 10 minutes, we made it a bit hard for ourselves. We'll try to figure out why it was a bit hard for ourselves in the last 10 minutes. Let me know your honest thoughts on the game. First half, second half, game overall. Who impressed you the most in the game? Which players let you down today? And do you think we're okay going forward? Which players should start next time and all that? I'm not happy, and not necessarily because of the performance. I think we played well for like 60 minutes, but because Timber got injured. Like I'm like when he dropped down with that injury, like I was just sad for the entire second half. And obviously the performance the second half didn't really make me more happy or anything, or try to make me happier. Like I'm so devastated that Timber went down with an injury. I'm really hoping it's not serious, man. Like that is literally almost our best player already right now, and I'm really hoping like it's not a serious injury. Like the way he went down like twice or thrice doesn't look good. So that is the main reason why I'm sad from today. Even if you had won that game 4-1 or something, I wouldn't have been happy. But obviously, first half, it was a great game, very good performance from the 15th minute. In the first 15 minutes, it was a bit quiet, but obviously it's a new season. Sometimes you start very quick and you score 2 goals in the first 5 minutes. Man City did it yesterday, 1 goal in the first 5 minutes. But sometimes you have to get your feet running and stuff, get the tempo of the game to get a few goals in the first half. And we did get 2 goals in the first half. It looked comfortable. I thought you were going to get another 2 in the second half, but that was not the case. I don't think it was because it was a bad performance. I've seen some people saying it was a bad performance. Bad performance implies that, oh my goodness, Saliba was terrible today. Oh my goodness, Odegaard could not pass the ball today. Martinelli was quiet. Odegaard did this. Saka was quiet. No, that is a bad performance. Today was not a bad performance. We played really well in the first half. And then the second half, what I agree with is we got a bit comfortable. Yes, we got a bit comfortable. We need to kill off games, 3 goals, 4 goals, and then you start making subs. And sometimes, many of you usually complain about it, subs. Today, when the game is 2-0 and things have gone a bit quiet by the 60th minute or something, personally, I would make a couple of changes just to freshen things up, bring in Trossard in the 60th minute, even if it means bringing on Smith Rowe, Fabi, just some fresh blood into the game, because most of our players were a bit comfortable in the second half. Maybe it was because it was too easy, and Nottingham Forest did not have a single shot on target in the first half, so things got a bit too easy. And it would have been a disaster. If Nottingham Forest scored a second goal, that would have been a disaster. So we definitely need to watch out for that. But again, I'm also seeing people saying, we spent money, nothing to improve. It's the first game. And also, if you take a look at the first 5 games of last season, we struggled against Fulham. We ended up winning that game 2-1, scoring in the last minute. We also kind of struggled against Aston Villa. We won 2-1 at the Emirates Stadium as well. And Crystal Palace beat them 2. The only comfortable 2 games in the first 5 games of last season was Bournemouth away and also Leicester at home. All the others we kind of struggled and ended up winning 4-3, 2-1, 2-1. So it was not straightforward. But obviously it was Nottingham. Expected it to be like 3-0 or 4-0. But I think for today, the most important thing is to get the win, because if you end up drawing that game, it would be a disaster. But let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'm just waffling and talking BS. Maybe you guys think different about that game. But let me know. Let's get to the lineup. We'll also do the player ratings later on. The game was delayed by 30 minutes today, so that is why this is this late. So Arsenal's lineup today, it was a bit different for sure. This is what we expected it to be. That is kind of what it was for most of the game. We had a goalkeeper Ramsdale, obviously, a back 4 of Timber, Saliba, Ben White, and Partey. So Saliba played on the left side, and Ben White next to him, and then Partey on the right side. Now, Gabriel was on the bench. They came on, but yesterday there was rumors about Gabriel picking up a knock in training, so that could be why he didn't start. But I didn't really mention it in the pre-match interview, because Gabriel usually never starts on the bench. Last season, he played every single one of the games, 38 games out of 38. So Gabriel rarely is on the bench. He's never on the bench. So today was kind of a surprise to see him on the bench. And I also have him in my FPL, so that was terrible. And in midfield, and obviously Saliba playing on the left side. Declan Rice in midfield, I think it was a good performance from him. Odegaard and Havertz as well in midfield. And then up front, we went with Saka, Martinelli, and Nketiah. So that is how we lined up most of the game, but this is how it could also be. Like sometimes in the game, Partey was going into midfield next to Declan Rice, and then Timber, Saliba, Ben White had like a back 3, because this is a game that we are really going to attack. It is either we're going to field this kind of team when you expect it to attack, or we go with the 4-3-3 still and play Trossard or Havertz in midfield instead of Rice and Partey. Like have Rice and Partey, one of them on the pitch, one of them on the bench, and then you have 5 attacking players on the pitch. But this is another way we could go, and Arteta kind of prefers this way, going with 3 defenders, and this is how Guardiola fits his team as well. But for us, most of the game, it ended up being a back 4. Partey was a right back. I don't think Partey will be used as a right back every single day. I think that he's very good against. I think sometimes, personally for me, today I wouldn't have started Partey because I didn't feel like we needed that defending and stuff. But he was very good today. And once again, I watched, I was like, oh wow, yeah, maybe he has to start actually. But today it kind of felt like you are trying like to shoehorn that system and to shoehorn Partey into the team, because I still think we'd have won without Partey in that pitch. Like just have like Ben White at right back and play Nketiah and Saliba still the same way. But he obviously wants this system and he wants Partey to come into midfield and everything. But sometimes in these home games, I would prefer playing a normal back 4. Just play Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White, and Timber if it's fit. And then midfield, you choose between Rice and Partey, one of them, and then you go with Havertz and Odegaard, whoever is going to start, or Trossard or Odegaard, whoever. These are the games that you expected to win at home. But the other games, like if you're playing against Liverpool away or Man City away, obviously you cannot go with that formation. You cannot play Partey at right back against Man City or Liverpool. You're going to be in a lot of trouble because his mind is always going to tell him go into midfield, and sometimes you need to cover the wingers and stuff. But today it didn't really cost us. I think the goal that you considered is because they counter-attacked us, and Elanga, we are not ready for Elanga's space in that game, obviously, and he definitely caught us out in the last 10 minutes of that game. On the bench, we had the likes of KJ Hine, Gabriel, Kivio, Tomiyasu. Nice to see Tomiyasu back. Jorginho, Fabio Vieira, Smith Rowe, Trossard, and Nelson. Nice to see Nelson back as well. Now, what I don't like sometimes from Arsenal fans, I don't mind you guys saying and giving your opinion in terms of saying, okay, why is Gabriel not starting or this? I know, I personally also want Trossard to start. I feel like he definitely deserves to start. But I'm talking about the comments like, okay, what is that doing? He does not know what he's doing. Nketiah should not be starting. Trossard should be starting. I get it. Trossard should probably be starting for us. He was our best player in preseason, but it doesn't necessarily mean every player is going to play every single game. For him, next game, I'd probably start him, but that is what you need to get ready for. Maybe it just feels like Trossard from the bench has more impact, and if you start with Trossard, you don't really have too much on the bench. Maybe that is how he feels. But whatever, it's going to be interesting because Trossard is really a good player, and when he came on for those last 20 minutes, you could see. But then again, if you want him to start instead of Martinelli, I'm not sure, because do you see Martinelli today? Martinelli was absolutely incredible once again. So I don't think you can really start him instead of Trossard instead of Martinelli right now. The only thing you can do is either start Trossard instead of Nketiah or start Trossard instead of Havertz. But then again, the other thing I don't like about Arsenal fans, even if Nketiah scores a hat-trick, people will not talk about it because you don't like the guy. Let's be fair. Nketiah played well today and he scored the goal. So I don't think he made any mistakes. Havertz as well in terms of interceptions in midfield, tackles, just a combination play and everything. I think he did okay as well. So let's not say players are bad or should not start just because you don't like them. If they play well, acknowledge them, and then let's be fair. But I have no problem with whoever starts, whether it's Trossard or Havertz. So Nketiah will probably make a lot of changes this season. Next week against Crystal Palace, it's going to be a Monday night game, by the way. We're not going to play it next weekend. It's going to be the other Monday. So 9 days until we play our next game. So again, we'll make changes. Probably Timber is now injured. Zinchenko could be back. We could start with Tomiyasu. We could start with Nketiah at left back. Midfield-wise, we could go with both Rice and Partey in midfield. We could go for Havertz starting again. We could also start Trossard. We could go for Zinchenko in midfield. However you're going to play, it's going to be difficult to predict our Arsenal team, which I don't mind. Usually, the opposition team can predict what you're going to do. Right now, even us, we can't predict what Arteta is going to do, which is probably a good thing for the opposition teams. But personally, if I was the manager, I usually don't like Partey at right back. Today, it kind of worked, but for most of the games, I don't think we have to play both Partey and Rice in a game like this. I rather just have White and Gabriel starting both of them on the pitch, because White at right back gives us a lot, and not just in terms of defense, even the relationship with him on Saka on the right side. I don't think Partey and Saka have that relationship, and Partey's not being asked to bomb down the right anyways, but being asked to come into midfield. But you also need Saka and someone to help Saka on the right side, and Ben White does that very well. But that was our lineup for today. As I said, the first 15 minutes was a bit quiet, a bit of magic from Odegaard here and there, what the play was. And then Matt Turner, we expected a Matt Turner. Literally, this guy left Arsenal on Thursday and he was playing against us today. He was annoying me. He was trying to do things very quickly. I was like, do you remember we made you, bro? We made you. Come on, dog. We made you, Matana. We made you. So yes, he good game for him. Hopefully, he does all good for Nottingham Forest. But finally came our goal in the 25th minute. Last season he scored a bit earlier than that, I think, and it's a very Martinelli. Oh my goodness, what a good turn from Martinelli. He was incredible today once again on that left side. Last season, I think he did very well for us, Martinelli. I think he should actually have been our best player of the season just because Odegaard and Saka are really good as well. So Martinelli didn't really get it, but he was very good again once again today. Very good magic from him on the left side, and Edin Nketiah with a very, very good finish today. Composure, that is what you want from a striker. You know, striker is not all about just scoring goals. You have to be very good in terms of your positioning. You have to be very good in terms of your composure. You have to be very good in terms of heading the ball and combination play. Like everything has to be solid. And I think Nketiah today, I knew, you know, he should have passed that ball, but I knew he was not going to pass. He knows what fans usually say about him, and he knows, like, no, I have to score today. And I knew he was not going to pass that ball. And very good finish. You have to believe in yourself as well as a striker. And I think Nketiah himself, he doesn't really have a problem with believing in himself. Some players, usually from Arsenal and other teams, don't really believe in themselves. But Nketiah does not have any problem with believing in himself. I think most of us feel like he's not the best striker ever, and he's never going to be Arsenal starting striker, but him himself, he actually believes that, you know what, I'm going to represent this number 14 well, and I'm going to score goals. If I start, I'm going to score goals. And it was good to see him opening the scoring, and that is what you want from him. I mean, if he scores, let's say he scores, but if he performs well like he did today, he did okay. Let's not start saying, okay, Nketiah on the bench next time. I mean, back up your point. If you want Nketiah to start to be on the bench next week, give me a reason why you want him to start to be on the bench next week, because he's in the team to score goals. And he scored a goal today, a very good finish. And I think he also got himself into really good positions. And he also threatened the center backs and the full backs as well a couple of times. So happy with Nketiah's goal, very, very good finish. And then again, it was a bit quiet for the next 6 minutes until Bukayo Saka stepped up. Oh my God, what a player, man. Like, this guy is improving and improving. So whenever I hear opposition fans saying, yeah, Arsenal last season, they outdid themselves, they're not going to be that good. And I look at Martinelli and Saka, I'm like, these guys are young. They're not going down. They're improving. By the time we get to 2026, I think Saka will be untouchable. I don't think anyone is going to be close to him. Or as a best wing and stuff, is going to be way ahead of everyone else. Like, when Salah is out of that conversation, I think Saka will be by far the best right winger in the league, even winger in general. Like, he's that good. And once again today, this finish was absolutely crazy. Saliba got the assist. Yes, it is an assist, but basically Saka did everything. Nottingham Forest lost the ball in a dangerous position. They should have cleared that ball, but they gifted us. And Saka, once again, this finish was incredible, man. Goal of the season already. His composure, his technique is just incredible. I think it was Michael Owen or Joe Cole, one of them was talking today, and they say this guy is the first team who should be first player who should be picked in the England team. That is how good he is, man. Absolutely incredible. You can see Havertz's reaction. Just look at Havertz. Havertz was like, oh my goodness. Let's look at him on the left side of the screen. He could not believe what he had just seen. You know, Havertz is a guy who has just come from Chelsea. He's used to Pulisic and Gallagher just doing terrible things on the pitch and putting the ball outside the stadium, you know, terrible shots and everything. And now he's come to Arsenal and he's looking at this kind of quality. He cannot believe it, man. He literally cannot believe what Saka has just done. That was an expert goal. And yes, you can tell once again, if Saka is not on that pitch, yeah, we probably will score a couple, but Saka literally has to be on that pitch. Like, he gives us so much. You know the saying, every time Saka has the ball, you feel like something is going to happen, and it usually does. What an incredible play it was, and that basically turned out to be the winning goal. Once again, he scored the winning goal, and really, really thankful for him. Like, I'm so happy that he signed that new contract, because you know that if this was 10 years ago, he would have been going to Man City, would have been going to Barcelona, because we're not really that team. But right now, we are attracting players, and players like Saka want to stay at Arsenal, and that is very, very good to see. So Saka, brilliant goal. Nice to have him at Arsenal once again. They tried to injure him as always in the last minute, but thankfully, it seems okay. But once again, he's going to be an important player this season. In my season predictions, I said Saka in all competitions is going to get 30 goal contributions. That is a lot. That is how much I believe in him. I said in all competitions is going to get 20 goals and 10 assists at least. that could be 18 goals, 12 assists, whichever, as long as he gets 30 goal returns. I think that is an improvement a lot, because it's very hard to improve for him because his numbers are staggering already for his age. But I feel like he's going to get 30 goal returns. In the league, I predicted him to get at least 16 goals. Let's see if he's going to do that. But if he keeps on playing like this, obviously he's going to get a lot of those returns. And then obviously Timber went down at the end of the first half. I'm devastated by that one. Yes, we won today, but I'm not happy just because Timber got injured. He once again, he was so comfortable in the ball in the first 10, 20, 30 minutes there. And you could see when he went down, do I have a picture of that? When he went down, you could see everyone was surrounding him. Everyone was devastated. Saliba was there. Who else was there? White was there. All of them worried about him because these injuries, man. Why can't we just avoid injuries? You know what is crazy? I don't even remember the last time Timber got injured for Ajax. Like, he literally comes to Arsenal first game injured. That is so sad, man. And he's now injured. Zinchenko is injured. Jesus is injured again. And we know what is going to happen. Jesus is going to come back. Tomiyasu is going to get injured. We know Timber is going to come back. Saliba is going to go out. Like, I really wish you could keep all our players fit. Obviously, you can't blame the injuries on anyone. Injuries usually happen, but the gods of football, please watch over us, man. These injuries are terrible every single time. We can start all the way back in 2008 when Eduardo got injured, then Ramsey, then Cazorla, then Wilshere, then Rosicki, then Van Persie. Then, like, so many of our players get injured in crucial parts of the season. But hopefully for Timber, it's not serious. It's confirmed that Jesus will be back in training next week, so that is good news. We also need him back in that team. And today, Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Tierney will not be there. So I don't know if that is going to change now that Timber could be injured, because if we sell Tierney now and Zinchenko is kind of injury prone because he's gotten injured like 4 times already as an Arsenal player, and Timber is injured, then we don't have a left back all of a sudden. We have to like play Kivio there or Tomiyasu there. So I'll do everything to keep Tierney, but it depends if he wants to stay, because he's not the first choice. So he basically might feel like he needs to go. So hopefully you can keep Tierney anyway. But halftime 2-0, things were looking good. Martial was looking incredible. Saka was looking incredible once again. Odegaard was getting himself into good positions. Havertz, I did like Havertz in that first half. He was doing all the right things, winning the duels and everything like that. Tackles, he was basically winning all the 50-50s in midfield and working so much hard. He was on the left side and the right side in the striker position. He was doing good. But Martinelli in the first half was just crazy, incredible, man. I had the stats somewhere. I've lost them, but I think he had something like did he create like 4 chances? I think something like that, if I can remember them from the top of my head. I think it was something like 4 chances, 1 assist. I think he won all his duels or something. I think that was the most in the first half or something like that. But Martinelli first half was just incredible. So being the Arsenal fan I am, being a bit cocky and stuff, I expected us to come back in the second half and make it 3 or 4. But it did not turn out to be that way. We became a bit comfortable. Nottingham Forest are not really doing anything pretty much. Like, they did nothing until the 80th minute. So we got a bit comfortable. So basically from the 45th minute to the 70th minute, we have nothing to cover apart from Timber going off and Tomiyasu coming on and Trossard coming on for Nketiah. And then after that, obviously, Havertz, let me talk about Rice. We'll talk about him in the player ratings. But Rice got himself into some really good positions. Jacques last season scored 7 goals in the Premier League and I think 7 assists. So that number is very hard to match. But if Rice plays in that position throughout the season, I think he could get like at least 4 or to push it, maybe 5 goals. Maybe not 7, but today he had like 3 or 4 shots. Like one of them like hit the post, or Turner saved it, and I think Turner saved like 3 or 4 shots from Declan Rice today. So he was getting himself into some really good positioning, some really good positions, and his technique is good. So I can see Rice scoring a few goals. And I think so far, I think that is Declan Rice's best performance in an Arsenal shirt. And it's going to come good. That is not the best of Declan Rice. That is like 70% of Declan Rice. Like, it's going to be much, much better than that. And when he starts like settling totally, is going to be incredible for us. So once again, happy with him, and also happy with Havertz in midfield. Rice was better than I think Havertz, but I think Havertz did okay. He was not incredible or anything, but I think it was like a 7 out of 10 performance. People usually look at Nketiah and Havertz. I usually don't like taking comments about Havertz and Nketiah, because I know people are just commenting in terms of just not liking them and not actually for their performance. They did well today, Havertz and Nketiah. Not the best. That is not going to be enough every single day. You have to perform way better than that, obviously. That applies to everyone else. But for today, I think for a debut, I think they did okay. So obviously came the Nottingham Forest goal. Awoniyi again, like he did against us last season, he came on and he scored the goal. Elanga's pace caught us off guard. Like, I think if he didn't come on, that would have been a 2-0 game. It would have been done. I don't think they would have scored, but his pace caught us out, and we basically had to hold on in the last 10 minutes. Had to bring on Gabriel. Gabriel came on for Martinelli. We had to defend and defend and defend. Hoping we've learned something from today once again. You cannot be comfortable at 2-0. The football saying is 2-0 is the most dangerous score, because if that other team scores, you're in big trouble. You're going to have to start defending and defending. We saw it against Liverpool last season. We saw it against West Ham last season again. 2-0 is not comfortable. You have to try and get a third goal. And hopefully we've learned a couple of things today. Maybe the two things I wasn't happy with today in terms of Arteta. One is subs. Trossard came on in the 71st minute. The game was a bit dull from the 45th minute to the 70th. So usually give 10 minutes, 15 minutes after the second half, and then you start making changes. So I would have brought in Trossard like the 60th minute, and even Smith Rowe, Fabio, just make a couple of changes, because you could tell like Nketiah was a bit out of the game. Partey at right back was starting to be a bit confused as well. Tomiyasu was lively and he came on. Just make a couple of changes. I know it is hard to take out players like Saka and Odegaard, because you never know. If that other team scores, you need Saka and Odegaard on the pitch. But just take out a couple of people, whether it's Havertz or Martinelli, or just to freshen things up, because it was 2-0 and it was so comfortable and it was very slow. It was very, very slow. So eventually we managed to defend it out, and Trossard made a good run as well just before the 90th minute, and we eventually got the win. We wanted like 3-0 or 4-0 to go top of the table. We're not really looking at the table after the first week. We're obviously watching Man City. Don't want them to go any further, even if it's after 2 or 3 weeks. But the 3 points are important today, and that is basically it. 3 points is what you need to do. But if we want to get that trophy in our hands, obviously need to do much better than that. You're not going to dominate every single game. That's obviously the other thing we need to understand. Some games you're going to have to win 2-1, 3-1. But when you play well, like we did in that first half, you want to kill off the game, score 3 or 4 goals. When you've played poorly, end up winning 2-1 or 1-0, that is fine. But when you play well and create chances in the first half and all that, kill off the game, get a third goal and just kill off the game. There's a couple of times I felt like you aren't ruthless enough, mainly from Havertz and Odegaard, getting chances to shoot the ball and they didn't shoot the ball. That is what I'm talking about. Like I saw Odegaard and Havertz outside the box like twice each. They had the chance to shoot the ball, but they decided not to shoot and pass to Martinelli and Saka instead. Sometimes just shoot the ball. You never know what is going to happen. We saw from Trossard last week against Man City. If you shoot the ball, it could hit someone and it could go in. So you have to try. If you don't shoot the ball, you're not going to score. You have to try and shoot the ball. These days, though, it's better. We do actually shoot the ball most of the time. Saka and Odegaard and all those players, they do shoot the ball from outside the box. But for today, we needed at least Odegaard and Havertz to shoot the ball from outside the box. They had a couple of chances to do. So those are the couple of things I was not happy with. But if you take a look at the stats, we were very comfortable. I think possession in the first half was like we had like 7 shots, they only had 1. We had 5 corner kicks, they had none. We had how many? They had 1 big chance that they missed. They should have scored from that. That's something I forgot to point out. Yes, Brennan Johnson for Nottingham Forest had a very good chance in the first half where he should have scored, and that would be a big mistake. Like if you let Nottingham Forest score fast against you, hopefully you can hear me now. The audio just decided to disappear. Sorry about that one. But yeah, if you take a look at the stats, hopefully you can hear me now. Let me confirm that. Yeah, you can hear me. So let me go through the stats again. That first half, after you have such kind of a first half, I'll come back to Brennan Johnson's chance. We had 438 passes, they had 79. When you have a first half like that, you need to kill off the game. You cannot let the other team come back to the game. I would understand if you don't have chances and all that, but when you have that many passes, that many corners, that many shots, and Nottingham Forest basically didn't do anything, you need to have like a 2 or 3 goal lead after the first 50 minutes. So second half as well, though, if you look at the second half, you obviously dropped a bit in terms of possession. You had 72, they had 28. They had 5 shots, though, so they definitely woke up. We had 4 on target, they had 2. We definitely dropped off in the second half, so you need to watch out for that. Some teams are not going to take it easy. Like you cannot do that against like a Brighton at home or against like a West Ham away from home. You're going to concede the goals and it's going to be 2-2. So that was it for the performance. Let me see what you guys are saying before I come to the comments. A bit I could come to the player ratings. Oyewusi says it was a good game. I feel Havertz can't play 90 minutes at stretch. Today, probably, yes. I'd probably have subbed like by the 60th minute, I would have made 2 subs and probably would have been one of them. And then, yeah, I would have subbed off a couple of players, to be honest, because it was too quiet and players had become too comfortable. And that is why we need a bench. But I feel like even today, we did have a few players who can come on. Trossard, Smith Rowe, Fabio, we do have a few players who can come on. Havertz, the funny thing with Havertz and players like Ben White and those guys, especially the players that we signed, Declan Rice, Havertz, and also Timber, they usually play 90 minutes every single day. Like Havertz rarely gets subbed off. He plays like every single game, Carabao Cup, FA Cup game. But sometimes just to freshen things up, bring in a bit of pace, and then you're going to kill off the game. But yes, I do agree with that today. He did so well. I'm sure Timber will be back for the next game. I don't know, man. He went down like 3 times. I'm really hoping you're right because I don't want him to get injured, man. Like he's already our best player. Like he cannot get injured right now. It's just a knock. Yes, he is actually the one who fouled the guy and he got a yellow card for it. We were so relaxed at 65 minutes. Yes, when the team becomes relaxed, that is when you need to make subs. I agree that, Lee. For sure. I've seen people saying, I don't like it, man. I usually don't like it when it comes from Arsenal fans. Some people have it very hard. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy when Nketiah scores a hat-trick, you cannot say he played well because you don't like him. Or if Havertz gets 2 assists and 3 goals in a game, you can't just say he played well because you don't like him. Today, he did good. He didn't do great or amazing. He did good, and Nketiah did good as well. We won the game. Nketiah did what he had to do. He scored the goal. Havertz got involved as well in the game. People usually complain about Havertz being quiet. Today, he wasn't quiet. He got involved in the game throughout the match. Anis says we need a good striker to score goals. Playing good football without scoring goals don't make good for the club. I do want a striker, yes. A backup striker for Jesus. If Jesus is back, Jesus still starts the game for me. But when you put that comment like that, it looks like Arsenal have been struggling for goals throughout. We scored 88 goals last season. We scored the most goals after Man City. That was without that striker, as you've said. So Arsenal don't really have a problem with scoring goals. It would be good to have a striker there, yes, especially now that Jesus is injured. But I really don't think we are going to sign a striker. In my head, I feel like we're not going to sign a striker. We could sign like an attacking midfielder who can play on the wing or something. I feel like we're going to sign one more player. Hopefully, we are surprised when we get someone who can do that. But I really doubt we are going to score. We are going to get a striker. I really doubt. This is the comments I'm talking about from Steven. If you're going to comment like that, tell me why. What did Havertz do wrong today? Don't just say Havertz should not start because you don't like him. This is not Chelsea. This is Arsenal. He's never played for Arsenal before. This was his first Premier League game. What did he do wrong? What did he do wrong? In midfield, I think he was one of the players who won the most duels and made an interception. He made a couple of tackles in midfield, won us the ball back a couple of times, created a couple of chances. What did he do wrong? Don't just say Havertz start him on the bench and Nketiah start him on the bench because you don't like the player. Let's not be those kind of people, man. Let's not be those kind of people. When Havertz plays well, let's say he played well. If Nketiah plays well, let's say he played well. If Saliba doesn't play well, we say doesn't play well. If Saka doesn't play well, we say doesn't play well. Let's not be there's that one type of guy who's like, okay, Havertz, nah, even if he plays well, he didn't play well. Saliba, even if he plays poorly, I'm not going to say it. No, we judge the player according to that game. Havertz today, he did not do anything wrong. Apart from not shooting the ball a couple of times and alongside Odegaard, but in terms of overall performance, he didn't do anything wrong. What did he do wrong today? Ryan next game, see which is better, says Ryan. I don't know. It could be possible. I literally do not know what Ate is going to do with with Ramsdale and Raya. But again today, Ramsdale made a couple, or maybe one. He didn't have a lot to do again, Ramsdale today. There's a time he was fouled and they didn't give us a free kick. They almost scored from that. But yeah, who knows? Mata could do that. Let's just wait and see. Let's see. Here we go again, man. Oh my God. Let's not be those kind of fans, man. Havertz did not do anything wrong today. What did he do wrong? What did he do wrong? Tell me what did he do wrong. He was not playing as a striker today. That was Nketiah. He only played as a striker for the last 10 minutes. What did he do wrong today? Havertz did not do anything wrong today, man. I also saw someone on Twitter saying Havertz, why is he starting? He's been terrible. He was not terrible. Like, if you're to rank that first half, Saka and Martinelli were very good. But if I was to go to a third player, it would be probably Nketiah or Havertz. Who did better in that first half? Havertz got involved in the play. Like, anyway, that is your opinion. That is fine. For Forest is always a tricky start. I mean, I don't think we'd be asking for a better game than that on Nottingham Forest at home. But hey, get the 3 points. Let's see. Louis says we need a good striker. Why did we put Partey wrong position? Again, yeah, I don't like Partey at right back. Yes. I heard that Gabriel got a knock yesterday, but if Gabriel gets a knock, I would prefer just bringing in Kiwi and playing him with Saliba and Ben White at right back. That I agree with. But I don't think Partey playing there cost us today. It didn't really cost us. But I mean, other games, I wouldn't like to see Partey at right back. No. Bakuna says Martinelli was wonderful. Yes, just an incredible player. As Blessing says, and Geoffrey, stop that cheap talk. You're so negative, man. Kai played well. Exactly. Let's judge the players according to how they played. And there's two players. I usually don't even like reading comments about Havertz and Nketiah because I just know people will say, yes, Nketiah scored 2 goals, 3 goals. It's not enough. Why didn't he score 4? Like, you cannot judge players like that. Oh, man. You're going... Okay, fine, Raymond. That is your opinion. Whatever makes you happy. Let's see. We were lucky today, says Charles. Continuing covering Arteta, but soon when you start losing points, you'll understand why I lament at times. I did not cover Arteta. I said he should have brought a sub early on. How he's not covering him. I said we did not win that game 2-1 because Arsenal was bad. We won 2-1 because we got comfortable. And when you get comfortable, I want to see subs. How is that protecting Arteta? Okay, what do you want? Do you want Arteta to be sacked today? Let's see. Wow. Okay, tell me. I want to see how good did Havertz play today? Did Havertz play bad or good today? Because I've seen like 5 people saying Havertz is the problem. How was he the problem today? Trossard should have been placed position where Havertz plays. That is fine. The fact that Arsenal can't win the league with this performance, that is true. That is true. We want better. But again, another thing we say, if you don't play 100% well, just win the game and get 3 points. But I'm sure you're not going to play that game every single day. Man City does have that kind of performance as well. Last time they beat Fulham like 2-1. They won another game 1-0. They beat Fulham both games 2-1. Some of those games you're not going to play well totally. I don't cast, but Steven, that is BS. Havertz did not do badly today. That is a 7 out of 10 performance. Let me take a look at his stats. Maybe I'm crazy. Let me just check Havertz stats for today. And I'm not judging from stats because I watched the game and I saw Havertz played well. Let me take a look at something. Let me take a look at his stats. So he was fouled 4 times. He won a free kicks. And I watched the game in detail as well. You see the last 7 minutes, I think it got to the 92nd minute. We were trying to waste time. Havertz went to the corner and won us a free kick and wasted a couple of minutes. All that. People don't take all that into consideration. People just look, okay, Havertz did not score a goal. Havertz is terrible. You have to look at the game as a whole. Like, how many times does he take the pressure away from us? How many times does he win the ball? How many times does he win us free kicks in dangerous positions? How many times does he combine the play and everything? What did he do wrong today, honestly? Some of you cannot acknowledge when a player plays well just because you don't like him. He made a clearance as well defensively. He made a couple of interceptions, couple of tackles. He won 5 out of his 9 ground duels, 3 out of his 7 aerial duels. I don't see how that is being a flop. 88% in terms of accurate passes, 45 out of 51. How is that being a flop? What did Havertz do wrong today? I don't even necessarily see from that performance today. Yes, we considered a goal and ended up winning 2-1 when we should have won like 3-0 or 4-0. But I can't necessarily look at that performance and say this player and that player played poorly. I think some were very good, like Martelli and Saka, and I think some of them were okay. I don't think anyone was terrible today. I think Tomiyasu came on and did well. I think Saliba was okay. We were just caught out once and they got a chance and they scored. They had like 70 passes that entire game. We had a position of like 84, so we are dominating the game. Charles says poor team selection and positioning. Havertz should have been substituted early. The second part I agree with. First part I'm not happy with Partey playing right back. Thomas says we expected more from the team. It's obvious that it only goes into games with one game plan. As soon as Timber went out, our game dropped. I also don't think Tomiyasu did poorly, to be honest. He did okay. Mata needs to make substitutions for practice reasons. That one I agree with. Saka really needs competition in his position because it was obvious he was tired and they still kept him on the pitch. For Kai, it's too early to judge, but he doesn't have to play 90 minutes. That one is fine. That is a good comment. If you give me an explanation like that and you tell me why you feel this and that is fine. But when you just say Havertz is not an Arsenal player, sell him, he's a flop. Why? What did he do wrong today? Tactical says I don't like Partey at right back at all. Yeah, I also don't like it. For the right back, I feel like Ben White has to play. Either you play Ben White or you play Timber or someone. But it's just, I guess it's just the way he approaches the game. You want someone who comes into midfield and is more comfortable in midfield. I don't think we'll see Partey playing there every day. Actually, you know what? I think last season in the second last game against Nottingham, that is the first time we saw him against Nottingham playing that position. It was against Nottingham. So I guess Partey plays right back when he play Nottingham, because the 2 times we've seen Partey at right back, it's been against Nottingham. I don't think he has to play every single week as well. Usually in a game like this, what my lineup would have been: Ben White, Gabriel, Saliba, and Timber. If Gabriel was not fit enough to start, I start Kivio. And then in midfield, I would go with Rice, Odegaard, and Trossard, and then that was my lineup for today. Have Havertz and Trossard rotating, and then up front, whichever way, start Havertz and Odegaard in midfield, and then up front Trossard, Saka, and Martinelli, and then bring on the other people in the second half. Even Partey, Jorginho can bring them later on. But Partey played very well today. But I'm saying I don't really feel like Partey has to start at right back. And there's some games you don't really have to start with Partey and Rice, both of them. Just have one of them on the bench and just have an extra attack or something. Not substituting is a no for me. I agree that. I agree that for sure. David Hart broken the Timber. Yeah, I'm hoping that it's not a serious injury, man. Hopefully he's back very soon. Saka is my man of the match, says Nketiah. It's how football works. Don't overreact. Burnley had way more chances than Forest today. That is true. They created a lot of chances yesterday against Man City. Sometimes the first game, you're not going to be perfect, but when you get yourself to the correct speed like we did last season and start to thump teams, when things start working out, you're going to be good. It's not like from the first game, people are expecting you to win 6-0. And you didn't play badly today. We got comfortable in the second half. Now, that is something that can be corrected. You can go and talk to the players and tell them, listen, today you got too comfortable. Don't do that again. Try and get a third goal. And then we can start passing the ball around. But you can't start passing the ball around when it's 2-0, because if they get one chance, it's not good. I'm also not happy. Really, Havertz should have come from the bench. That is fine. But Havertz was not the reason why we didn't even lose today. We won the game, but he did not play badly today. So you're going to really have to change my mind. Milota massively overreacting. Nothing wrong with Havertz today. Completely nothing wrong. But I do understand. I know Arsenal fans very well. Some people will never acknowledge it, even if they play well. Those 2 players, Nketiah and Havertz. If Arsenal is to play like this, even in top 4 next, then it will be not be there, says Ignatius. Yeah, now that is overreacting. This is the first game of the season. Last season, the first 5 games, we won 2-1, 2-1, 4-3, 2-0. So there are games that we should have drawn as well. Saying top four, I think people are also looking at Man City's game yesterday and comparing that to us. Obviously, Man City are going to thump Burnley by many goals. Wow. Geoffrey says drop Havertz out of the starting lineup. Why? I guess because you don't like him. Back three cannot help us, please. We need to play a back four, says Stanslas. I think most of the games you're going to play a back four, but in games like this against Nottingham Forest at home, the games where you're expecting to win 5-0, you're going to play that. But I prefer playing a 4-3-3 with an extra attacking play and have a Partey and Rice, one of them on the bench. That is how I prefer it. Don't play Partey at right back and Rice in midfield. No, just have Ben White, Gabriel, Saliba, and someone at left back, Timber, Zinchenko, whoever. And then midfield, choose either Rice or Partey. And then in front of them, have Trossard or Havertz, and then Odegaard, and then the front three players. He was one of the players who made the most interceptions and won the most deals in midfield. So that is a comment where it's coming from a place where you just don't like Havertz. Let's see. Arsenal leader striker says Mohamed. Let's go to the player ratings. Maybe I'm crazy. Let's do the player ratings. Let's start with obviously Ramsdale. Didn't have a lot to do today. And obviously didn't keep a clean sheet today. It's a tough one. He considered a goal, but Ariel, let's see how many saves. He made one save from inside the box. Good save. But apart from that, he didn't really have a lot to do. So today, Ramsdale, I'm going to give you a 6 because if it was a clean sheet, it would have been a 7 because today he didn't really have a lot to do, to be honest. Very comfortable. Apart from the time he considered the goal, but he was very comfortable today. Next up is Julian Timber in defense. He was only on for almost 45 minutes, so I'm just going to give him a 6. I really hope he's fit next time. I know it doesn't even have to be next time. I hope he's not out for too long. We can survive without him in the next 2 weeks. But hopefully, if he's back immediately, I'd be very happy. You need him back in that team, Julian Timber. So 6 out of 10 for today. First half, you could see once again, very comfortable on the ball. He makes everything look very easy. He's playing as a left back. I think before last week against Man City, he had never played at left back before. So that is like the first time we are using him in that position. So that is very quite impressive from him, playing very well in that position. He picked up a yellow card before he got subbed off. So I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. William Saliba, I'm going to give him an extra mark because he got an assist. Very comfortable on the ball. I don't really feel like we were under the cosh or anything like that. I'm going to give him a 7 because he got an assist. Very comfortable once again. I really do like him with Gabriel in the team, though. I like both of them, that combination. I feel like it works better. So hopefully, Gabriel, yesterday I'm hearing he was a bit injured from training. So maybe that is why he didn't start today. But the one thing with Saliba, oh my goodness, how many? Oh my goodness. He made 127 passes. I didn't realize that. Obviously, some of them is like defensively, but Saliba made 127 passes and he had a 98% in terms of accuracy. So he basically never gives away the ball, which is very impressive. So Saliba gets a 7 for today. And again, he was playing in kind of a new position. I feel like every centre back needs to be able to play on the left side and right side. But today, started on the left side. He's never really a left-sided centre back for us. Ben White as well. I'm going to give him a 6, just like Timber and Ramsdale. I think Saliba's slightly better in terms of on the ball and also getting the assist and creating that chance for Saka. So 6 out of 10 for Ben White. Partey midfield. This is a tough one. I mean, Partey did not really make any mistakes, even playing at right. I don't like him at right back because I feel Ben White is way better in that position. I'd rather have Zinchenko or Timber inverting from the left side rather than having Partey inverting on the right side. Oh, Ben White, by the way, picked up a yellow card. I'm not sure many of you saw that. He picked up a yellow card. I don't think they actually showed the replay. He picked up a yellow card for wasting time around the 93rd minute. So there was that as well. But Partey, he was good. He was getting into midfield and he's playing good. So I'm going to give Partey a 7 for today. But I do agree with you guys. I don't want him at right back. I prefer the inverted player to be from the left side. So Partey 7 out of 10 for today. New position and everything. A bit hard because that position you really need to be mobile and agile, and you need to be right side midfield. You have to have a bit of pace. I don't think Partey is complete to play as a right back. Just need him in midfield. Either you play him in midfield or you start trying to bring Partey off the bench or vice versa. However, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Declan Rice. I was quite impressed with him today. I don't know if this is too high. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. I don't know if that is too high. Maybe it should be a 7, but I'm giving him an extra point because he got himself into some really good positions in the attacking areas. Could have had even a hat trick. Like he had like 4 shots. The goalkeeper made like 3 or 4 saves from him. So we expect Declan Rice to be in the team just to show us show things in the midfield and make those tackles, interceptions. He made those as well, very good as well in terms of that. Very comfortable playing against their midfield and all. He's getting himself to the left side, right side, passing as well. I think he gave away the ball a couple of times, but I think he was okay in terms of overall and getting himself to attacking positions. 8 out of 10, best performance in an Arsenal shirt. The guy that most of you don't like, Kai Havertz, 7 out of 10 performance. Some of you are making it look like it was a 2 out of 10 performance. He did not do anything wrong. He got interceptions. He made blocks. He's not a defender. He made tackles in midfield. Some of you say Havertz is weak. He does not do that. He won almost half of his duels in midfield. Some of you make it look like he's the weakest player on the pitch. He made tackles in midfield. He also won aerial duels in midfield, very important. He created a couple of chances from the left side. One of them, Nketiah, almost got to the end of. So 7 out of 10 for Havertz. I'm going to give Odegaard the same. Very quiet in the second half. Second half, most of our players were quiet. But first half, no, I'm going to give him a 7. Yes, I was about to take it down to a 6, but I remembered there's a couple of skills in the first half where he's just creating chances for Ben White, overlapping runs from Ben White and Saka and all that. Odegaard is the one who's always controlling everything in midfield. So I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 for today. Next up are the forward players. This is going to be high. Obviously, the likes of Odegaard and Partey and Havertz can perform way better than that. Could be 8 and 9, especially last season. This guy, Odegaard, was putting up 8, 9 out of 10 performances every single week. Bukayo Saka, that goal, man. Oh, my goodness. I think that goal just gives him an extra point. Like, what a player. What an exceptional player. Second half, as someone has pointed out, looked a bit tired, didn't really get involved. So that is why I'm not going to give him. If it was the first half, it would have been 9 out of 10. I had 9 out of 10 written down, but second half a bit quiet. But he was also, another thing I liked about Saka today, he was actually defending. He actually blocked a couple of balls and a couple of crosses from them that resulted into in Nottingham Forest corner kicks and stuff. So Saka was coming back and defending. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Fantastic goal, basically the winning goal. Could have been a 9, but second half, very quiet. So 8 out of 10. Martinelli, I'm going to give him the same. Who was better today, Saka or Martinelli? Let me know in the comments who was better between the two of them. Martinelli is just incredible. That piece of skill to assist that Nketiah goal is just incredible. Again, another very important play in our team. Hopefully, both of them can stay fit like they did last season. So 8 out of 10 for Martinelli. Second half, he got subbed off, was a bit quiet. I didn't Nketiah. Very good finish. That is the kind of composure I want to see from a striker. Be very agile and flexible and all that in the box, know when to shoot. You get the chance, you put it in, like you don't waste any time. And I think this finish was very, very good from him. So with that said, second half though, second half, I think most of our players were quiet. So I'm going to drop a mark for all of them in the second half and take it down by at least 1 mark. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 for today. Scored a good goal. Maybe I'm even harsh. Maybe it should be an 8, but I think Saka and Martinelli were very good, like in the first half, like putting the defenders and a lot of pressure, the fullback. So 7 out of 10 for Nketiah. Our subs, Tommy. I think Tommy came on and did good, had a couple of shots, made a couple of tackles. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. We didn't really make a lot of subs. I'm going to give the same to Leandro Trossard, 6 out of 10 as well. Made a good run in the second half as well, like just to take the pressure away from us. What a player. Many people are wanting him to start. Maybe not in the Martinelli area. I think Martinelli is a definite starter at the moment. But that is why we need a squad. Like next time, whether it's Martinelli starting or Trossard, whether it's Havertz starting or Trossard, switch things around here and there. Try to keep the back four and the goalkeeper same sometimes, most of the times, to keep things solid. But midfield and forward line, I think we can change almost every single week. I think we could easily have Partey on the bench. You could have Jorginho starting. So I'm going to give Trossard a 6 out of 10. Did anyone else come on? Gabriel wasn't on for too long, so it just have to be like a 5 out of 10. He was only on for like 10 minutes. So 5 out of 10 for Gabriel Magalhaes. So I think those are the only players to come on. I do agree. Arteta. We won the game, but I'm going to be very I'm going to look at the game as a whole. Starting 11, I mean, that is his system, so you have to understand that is how he's going to use it. But I do agree, I'm not a big fan of Partey on the right side. Personally, I would just start Kiwi instead with Saliba. I think Kiwi is good enough, and play White at right back. And then if you want Partey and Rice, both of them, just start both of them in midfield with Odegaard. But if you feel like we need to go attacking, choose Rice or Partey, one of them on the bench, and then go with Trossard, Havertz, Saka, Martinelli, and Nketiah. Just go with those 5 attackers that you want on the pitch. I was also not happy with obviously the second half. I don't know if that really is his fault. The players became too comfortable in the second half, but it could be his fault in terms of not bringing players earlier. I would bring in Trossard and either Fabio Vieira-Smith or a bit early just to freshen things up. Clean sheet was a counter attack, so you can't really do much about that one. We ended up winning the game still 2-1, but so obviously it is Nottingham Forest. Last season we beat them 5-0 in the same game. So despite winning, I'm going to give Nketiah a 6 out of 10 for today. We can definitely do way better than that. So those are my player ratings. Let me recap them again. Ramsdale gets a 6. Timber gets a 6. Could have been more if he was on for longer. Saliba 7. Ben White 6. Partey 7. Rice 8. Havertz 7. Odegaard 7. Saka 8. Martinelli 8. Nketiah 7. Gabriel 5. Tommy 6. Trossard 6. And then finally Arteta 6. Where is Arteta? Arteta 6. So next week we're not playing on the weekend. You're going to play on the Monday. So we're going to watch every other team playing twice before we next play. So by the time we play, we're going to be like 8th or 9th, but nothing, no reason for looking at the table right now. But definitely we have a full week now to work on a few other things that went a bit wrong today, maybe. I don't think a lot went wrong. I mean, we were very comfortable in the first half, but maybe in terms of being comfortable, like let's try and be ruthless, shoot the ball when you expect it to, or just shoot the ball. You never know, it could go in. Isaac says, I think we should be more direct than passing the ball too much around, and Smith Rowe should have come for Kai at a point. He was tired, but nothing wrong. Yeah, that one I agree. That is a fair judgment. Yes, I think Havertz should have gone off for either Fabio Vieira or Smith Rowe. Maybe Martelli should have come off earlier maybe 65th minute or something for Trossard. Just make a couple of changes to freshen things up. Not necessarily because they are playing badly. No one played badly today, just because we got too comfortable. So just to freshen things up, you bring in a couple of players. We also had a tough game against Man City last week. And Man City, if you compare Man City to Arsenal, last night to the squad they played against us, they made a few changes. Like yesterday, the likes of Ake started. He did not play against us. Ederson started. I don't think he played against us last week. Again, they played together. I think Ortega Moreno. They made a few changes. Like who else started? Grealish started against us last week. He didn't start yesterday. So Man City made like 4 or 5 changes from our game. That is the kind of squad you need. William says, I really don't like the experiment that I did, play Saliba and Gabriel. I think Gabriel picked up a knock in training yesterday from what I'm hearing. But from that comment, yes, I think he should still play either Kiwi or someone at centre-back. White at right-back, I agree. That I don't rate Tommy. I think Tomiyasu is a great player. I think it's just because of the injury, so it's very easy to forget. I also think he did okay when he came on. Timber made us look shaky, but our normal defense plays, it brings stability to our defense and also our midfield. Great. I do agree that. I would prefer Timber and White and Gabriel and Saliba in our defense for sure. But now Timber could be injured, so we need Zinchenko back very soon. Oyewusi says Havertz and Eddie are phenomenal. Just that Eddie got bullied in midst of those 8 guys. Havertz caused loads of disruption. Yes, especially that's disrupting the defense and getting into good positions. Havertz did very well in terms of that. So people are just watching and saying, okay, Havertz did not get a goal is terrible. I'm sure these people are Chelsea supporters. Yeah, but unfortunately, some of them are Arsenal supporters as well. That is why it's even sad. I say 7 out of 10 for Kai. I agree with that. We need to give Smith Rowe more opportunities. Yes, for sure. That 3 points is very important. Let's not judge with just the first matches of Kennels. Playing Kai is a bad idea when you have big matches. He played 4 out of 10 rating. 4 out of 10 rating means you're below average. You are terrible. You did not do anything correct. Like 4 out of 10. which game can I look at? Like Nottingham Forest last season at the end of the season. That is where I was giving players 4 out of 10. That is not a 4 out of 10 performance from Havertz. Not at all. That I 100% disagree with. 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10 means you're almost terrible. He was not terrible. And I don't think any Arsenal player was terrible. That is why I've given each one of them 6 out of 10 and above. And I've deducted 1 point because they got comfortable in the second half. The only thing we can say about Havertz today simply didn't have that space. Nothing more says or you will see. That is okay. I give Havertz 5 out of 10 was very average. You can tell, like I can tell Havertz is very targeted, you know. Everyone in the second half was quiet, but people are like, Havertz. Kai Havertz did well. Please let's stop criticizing our players. Timber would come back soon. I have no problem with players getting criticized, Oyebola. No problem with players getting criticized, but criticize with the reason, not just because you don't like Nketiah and Havertz. They did not do anything wrong today. We need a proper cover for Saka. Shouldn't be playing 90. We are going to win the double. Need a lot better performances than that for sure. Good performance don't mean you'll still win the league. 3 points in the league, not performance. Yes, and the performance is not going to be like that every single day. Obviously, we're going to be better than that. I realize people watch the television, not the game. Yeah, sometimes I even wonder, like, people listen to the radio and stuff. Some people, again, as I always warn you guys, be very careful. If you don't watch the game, be very careful with going on Twitter and watching and looking at people's comments on players. Some people are just never going to say anything right about some players that they don't like. I know some Arsenal fans don't even like Odegaard, as crazy as it sounds. And even if he plays how, they're just going to be like, no, it's not enough. So not everyone is going to be pleased by performances. In the first half, Arsenal played well, but since Timber left the match, things changed, says Samuel. I expected Gabriel should have come on fast. Arsenal 29 player did not play well, according to me. Okay, Booker says rating Ramsdale 5, White 5, Timber 6, Party 5. Is that out of 10? Come on, Booker. That is way harsh. You cannot give Martinelli a 5 out of 10. He was unplayable in the first half. 5 out of 10. Come on, man. 5 out of 10 for Martinelli. Come on. 5 out of 10. Martinelli 5 out of 10. Rice 5 out of 10. Come on. I would agree with Sam. I can see why you can give Ramsdale 5 and Timber and White 5. Didn't really have a lot to do. Odegaard, I can see why. Saka 7, I can see why. But I hadn't even seen the Havertz one. Havertz 4. So you're telling me, okay, so that comment basically implies that Havertz was the worst player on the pitch. He was not. That is a lie. He was not the worst player. He was not the worst player on the pitch. He was winning duels in midfield. He created a couple of chances, making tackles, interceptions. Havertz was not the worst player on the pitch. That is what your comment implies, that Havertz was the worst player on the pitch. I think I'm going to block the name Havertz, like in the comments, just so I don't have to read about Havertz. Junior says, my brother, the team needed more effort in scoring goals. I agree that second half was a bit quiet. Saka was better, but Martinelli needs to do more. Second half, maybe. First half, they were both very, very good. Saka was better than Martinelli today, says Frederick. At top 5, took long in making subs. Our recovery is still not consistent. I wish you can do more on a ball recovery. Speaking of ball recoveries, thank you for reminding me. I had forgot about Martinelli. There's a time, I think Timber passed the ball and Martinelli lost it. And Martinelli ran all the way from the left side, ran like I don't know how many meters and came to the midfield and took the ball. So I usually look at every single detail like that. We just not just look at how he did with the ball and everything, like how did he do defensively and everything. And the reason I'm giving both of them 8, Martinelli and Saka, is because obviously defensively as well, they did so much. Saka put in a couple of blocks defensively, and Martinelli as well. Energy, like whenever he loses the ball, even when someone else loses the ball and he's not even the one who has caused that, Martinelli decides to run and come back to get the ball. And he did that today. Which minute was it? I can even give you the minute. Did I write it? It was I think it was around the 32nd minute or 33rd, somewhere there. He literally ran came back and got the ball. Some of you remember what I'm talking about. So all that, as Dodana says, our recovery is not consistent. I think one player who's not bad at that is Martinelli. Did very good. Tomiyasu 4, Trossard 6. That is fair. They're only on for a few minutes. So my man of the match, who would I give it to? In order, I would say Saka, Martinelli, Rice. Those are my three best players from today. I think Rice did very well in terms of positioning himself and getting forward. And I'll definitely Arteta needs to make, like, in a game like this, sometimes you need to make the sub earlier on, and also to end it. Today's game was very late as well, by the way. By now you should be watching this 3 o'clock kickoffs, whatever, wherever you are. To end it, Havertz did not play well. Did not play well is BS. Havertz played okay. Let's judge the players according to the game, not according to whether you like them or not. Havertz and Nketiah played okay today. Do we need to see more from all the players? Yes. But Havertz today, 7 out of 10 performance. Do I want him to start again next week? Even if you're going to get mad? Yes. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.